Hi, you guys. This is my monthly live show for those who donate $5 or more per video on my Patreon thing. So, hello. We're going to start as usual with a Q&A, including people who have questions on Twitter. Right. Hello, everybody. We have some people here. James just arrived. George is here. Andreas, Angus Raniero, and I think that's everybody who is here right now. So we already have a couple questions. One question from Twitter, and there's a couple that people already asked. So one from Twitter from 3Nighter, I think is the username, asks if I ever visited Mexico. Interesting story is that once in maybe 2004 or so, maybe before that, might have been 2003. I went to go visit my dad's mother as like a family trip to Texas, and as part of that, we got in this RV and had a road trip to go to Mexico. And the whole thing is they were saying that we didn't need passports. When we get there, I just remember being exhausted because I was like 11 or 10 and we've been driving forever, and I remember that I was exhausted and they were at the money exchange thing, and then something happened and we had to leave, and I don't remember what that was. So I've been slightly inside Mexico, but my boyfriend is from Mexico and he wants to take me there at some point, so that'd be cool. And thanks. So thanks for that question. Was Santa good to me this year? See, the thing is, I'm an adult, and my presents were mostly from me and my boyfriend, and then friends, like you, Angus, for example, you send me presents. You're not Santa. And when it comes to sending presents to each other, we wanted to take credit for how great and thoughtful our gifts were. So no, there was no Santa this year. It was, I'm sorry to crush your dreams. Speaking of Christmas-related things, earlier someone asked me to show them the Christmas tree. And you can't tell because the star is facing this way, or this direction. But that's a tree and it's behind the couch. I'm sorry. Oh, are you asking questions now? Just to kind of catch up with the other questions that someone had, Raniero asked if I can play poker. I know the general idea of how to play poker, but I'm not really good at it, and I usually need people to help me. Also, the fact that I have a very expressive face, like people will even ask me if I'm upset just because I'm thinking about something. I'll be thinking like, oh my gosh, that's a problematic part of that show, and I don't know how to feel about that thing in that show, or like, oh, this one person did something to me once, and I'll just be thinking, and people will think that I'm upset. And it's like, no, I'm just having thoughts, and it just all shows up on my face. So I'd be terrible at poker because I'm very easy to read. So much that I'm over expressive that I look actually upset when I'm just thinking of various things that happened. Yeah. Other things that people might be asking. Did I used to believe in Santa when I was a child? Yeah, yeah. No, I didn't. I don't think I ever really did because it's like, well, I did kind of believe in like some kind of spiritual things. I never really believed in like the tooth fairy or anything. Like I always knew, even when I was really little. Like it's not like they would make an effort to like make it happen, but it's like there'd even be. But the thing is, like on Christmas morning, when all of the extra Santa presents would show up, like they're always like signed in my mom's handwriting or my dad's handwriting. So it wasn't difficult to figure out, I guess. But my sister and I, again, we already knew. It's not like we even necessarily talked about it, but we both knew. But we'd always be like, oh yeah, Santa, because it was extra presents on Christmas morning. Even when we were adults, they'd be like, do you like your presents from Santa? And we're like, oh yeah, we love Santa. Like our parents know, I'm sure, that we don't believe in Santa. But yeah, even with the Tooth Fairy, like side story, the way that my mom did the Tooth Fairy thing is we didn't have a tooth under the pillow. It was like a tooth in a glass of water next to the bed, so it was like rinsed off. Because like I guess we were both very light sleepers, and if you try to lift up our pillow, like if you just walked in the room, I'd already wake up, let alone trying to like have you like dig under my head, and then how do parents even do that without waking up their kids? Are their kids just like completely knocked out? Do they give them Benadryl that night? Like, I don't understand. So she just would put like the money under the cup. I remember one time there wasn't money in the cup and the tooth was still there, and I was like, Mom, the tooth fairy didn't arrive, and I didn't get my present, my prize of money. And so she was like, oh, this is things. I guess I'll try again. She'll try again tonight. And so then I think she gave me double. Did you guys, if you had the tooth fairy thing, did you get more money for like molars because they were like $5 teeth instead of dollar teeth? That's the black market. Yeah. Also, someone Raniero notice there's no tinsel on my tree because tinsel is terrible, and you should feel bad if it's on your tree. I'm just kidding. And the recent battle of the mics, which one has come out on top? So the mic I'm using right now is my new mic that I was using for videos, but pretty much all but maybe like 3 people in the comments like my old mic better. I can't really use that mic for this show because it's a camera that gets this one right here. This is what my camera looks like, by the way, if you are unaware. And the microphones, I can't really tell, but there's one here and one here, the little holes there. So that's what you look like when I whisper in your ear and things. So yeah, the old mic, like a landslide. So that's what I'm going to be using for my videos. That's what I'm going to be using. And things. Right. Any more questions? Because questions help the show go smoothly. Oh, you asked me a question. As if your questions count. Which is my favorite Christmas ornament? Can I just pull one off and hope I don't ruin the entire, like cause a fire and ruin the tree? There's a few of these ones. I just undid the little knot. But we have these ones that look like little presents. They're actually kind of nice sounding too. Like, I don't know if there's binaural on this though, on the show, but you can at least kind of hear. Which video was the most fun to create? I think my role plays are the most fun. I would say the Camping Crush videos are probably the most fun for me because I can just say whatever I want. I just wing it from the beginning. I just improv everything. Yeah, I just improv everything. So I would say that the Camping Crush videos are probably my favorite to make because I get to do the most acting, I guess. And they're fun. I keep looking over and then seeing my face on the other screen and then watch as my head like slowly turns back and forth with a slight delay. All right. Raniero, which I need to do the hand thing every time apparently so that I can roll the R's correctly, says that you should be able to ask questions since you're clearly taking part. But he's wrong. Get back to the kitchen and make me more waffles. He makes me a lot of waffles because I got him a waffle iron for Christmas, which he loves, and so everybody wins. He gets to use a waffle iron and I get to eat waffles. So, right. Ask more questions. Do I have any New Year's resolutions? I actually haven't thought about it yet, but side note, so that I actually have something to answer, is I was reading this article years ago about the problems with New Year's resolutions and how to have actually effective ones. If you'd like to hear things, I bet you do. I'm not going to wait for anyone to answer because I'm just going to talk about it anyway. Right. Is that the problem with most people's New Year's resolutions is they're very vague and they're not measurable and you can't really tell if you're succeeding or not. If you say, for example, I'm going to exercise more, well, what does that mean? What is exercising more? If you don't exercise at all, then like going for a walk would be more, but is that what you want? Is that what you mean? So what you have to do with New Year's resolutions, as with any goals, is you need to choose reasonable goals and measurable goals, because if you can measure them, then you know if you're succeeding or not. It's not some vague, wishy-washy, I'll try kind of thing. So, for example, if your goal is exercise, which a lot of people do, you know, what is your goal? Is it you're going to go for a walk once a week? Are you going to join a gym? Are you going to go every day? Like something reasonable so you're not like destroying your body or whatever it is. You're like, don't say, for example, if weight loss is your goal, like, be like, I'm gonna lose 60 pounds in a week. Like, that's ridiculous. You don't want to do that. You're gonna die. So something measurable and something reasonable. If your goal is to, be more cleanly, what does that mean? You're gonna say, like, are you gonna clean up every day? Are you gonna have a big cleanup at the end of the week? Are you gonna say, I'm gonna pick up after myself? I don't know. It's something that has to be measurable so you know when you're keeping up with your goal, and it has to be something reasonable. So yeah. Nick just showed up. Hi, Nick. Hello. And Martin McEwen? Mark McEwen. Anyway, someone named Martin has showed up. Hello. And Nick is here. Hello. We're answering some questions about holidays and things. Right. Ask more questions because we still have like 20 minutes left for questions. Questions. I could show you guys my Christmas presents if that's what you want. And things. Can also show you my stocking if you want. This is my stocking. It's from the dollar store. And the red part doesn't even go all the way around because it's from the dollar store. How long do you keep your tree up after Christmas? It depends, because the first time I had a Christmas tree in my own kind of house thing, like that I was in charge of, was last year. And as you probably remember if you were watching my videos back then, is that it stayed in the background of my videos until past March. So that's what happened last year. This one is, we're kind of considering moving into a one-bedroom apartment because we're in a two-bedroom apartment, but we no longer have an extra roommate, and it would save a lot of money in the smaller ones, and we'd get less, lower water bill, lower electricity, and everything. Plus, the lady downstairs is really loud in that every now and then she likes to literally scream bloody murder, like at the top of her lungs. Like, not the words, but, the idea that she's screaming very loud, and then she'll slam doors, like, really loudly that it shakes the whole apartment, like, 16 times in a row, and then she'll go around her apartment banging on things and, like, banging on the ceiling, our floor. And it's ridiculous, and it's very emotionally disturbing when it happens, and we're not really going to miss that. Also, this morning we woke up to realize that there is a couple holes in the ceiling that are dripping rainwater. So yeah, let's not live in this one. We're gonna move. We're gonna look at the one that we're being offered, which is all the way in the back of the apartment complex, away from the road, so I can have less problems with videos. And she says it's quieter, except the dogs downstairs sometimes bark when they open the door. But I feel like if that just happens every now and then, it's way less loud than she is, and it's way less emotionally upsetting. So yes. Do I still use my Banana Galoshes account? I'm not sure what you mean, because only use it on a couple places, my Snapchat and I think my Flickr. So I'm not sure what you're talking about, what account on what place. What else did I get for Christmas? Well, let me just gather some things. I got this. Oh no. What's happening? Never mind. Okay. Have to reload. Okay. Things and stuff. What else did I get? I got, do you have the box for the thing? For the car speakers thing? One of them is that this person, look, he's walking. There he is, he exists. He's is that he got me a new sound system speaker thing for my car because the other ones would cut out a lot and get very fuzzy and like not always stay on. Sometimes they would just cut out. So he got, oh my god, it's still heavy, even though I don't know what's even in here. The old speakers are in here, but these are my new ones, and they're fancy, and they're really cool, and I have bass, and so the first thing I did was put on Super Bass by Nicki Minaj, even though there's not that much bass in the song. But it's like boom, 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 boom. A wild Chris appears. What was the gift you were happiest to give this year? I bought him a waffle iron. And he pretty much screamed and shit his pants when he saw. I'm just kidding. We've had waffles every day. I actually eat a lot of waffles, like, as in one sitting. Like, once I'm actually eating, like, well, I eat a lot. Like, I'll have, like, 5 waffles for breakfast. And then, like, 20 minutes later, I'll be eating something else. So, yes. The gift that keeps on giving. Yes. And how? So those are. I have some more presents. I got a green screen kit from Angus, and I would show you, but it's not set up. And even if it was, I'd have to carry my laptop and my microphone all the way to a different room, and that's not gonna happen because I don't want to die, and I don't want to break anything. I keep looking over for like, I don't know, like your reaction to what I'm saying, and then I just see my face in a huge screen. But yes. What else did I get? He got me new headlights for my car, but we have to get different ones because even though they're the ones for my car doesn't have the ones that are for my car. They're like a cheap alternative thing. What else did I get? I got lots of candy. I got a Loot Crate, which is a subscription box gamer thing. I got a skin treatment that I've been using. And I got this stuff. This is yours though. I got this I got this for a stocking, and it looks like they made a potato doll and then added some things onto it. And he kind of like, he has a big butt. Live tingles, yes. Various things that came in the Loot Crate thing. There was a pin to celebrate, I guess, that their excited anniversary thing. I got, what is this? Oh, this is stuff that came with the skincare thing. This is a bookmark. I got this, which is funny because the thing is, you can't know what's going to be in the Loot Crate. It's a surprise. And it's funny though that a lot of stuff ended up being Batman related because he actually loves Batman, and so I just keep giving him the things because I don't really like Batman. I'm not really a DC fan. They also gave me this thing to win a mega crate, whatever that means. It's probably something really cool related to them. It also came with this like paper Simpsons wallet called the Mighty Wallet, and it's supposed to like expand as you put things in it, and it smells really weird. It smells less weird now. It smelled way weirder before. This is part of my stocking. It's a pen, but it has a mustache on it in case you want to write like this. And we got this. I'm actually going to use this. It's the Captain America car freshener. And a 30-day trial of Crunchyroll just for me. I should probably give this away because I don't use Crunchyroll. I should give this away as a prize. That'd be cool. Yeah. That's what I would do. So yeah, I'll probably give this away sometime later. Maybe my next, I don't know, is there like an expiration date? Probably not. There's probably not an expiration date, but I'll look into that. I might give this away next month for my next monthly live show. I'll look into that. And things. Does it smell like America? What does America smell like? You know what's interesting is actually like when you go in different states, they do have like their own smell. Like when I first landed in Nevada when I used to live there, it smells like sagebrush. Like you're in the middle of Reno, which is the city, but it smells like sagebrush even in the city. And I haven't gone back to Hawaii since I moved, but my sister had, and she said it smells like slightly rotten fruit, like very ripe fruit, apparently is what it smells like. She also felt like she was suffocating because northern Nevada compared to Hawaii, very, very different humidity. In fact, when I first moved to Nevada, it was so dry that I started getting scabs on my hand from how dry it was. Isn't that fantastic? You wanted to know that. I was going to lead with that, James. Smells like freedom. I don't know. I mean, looking at recent events like Ferguson, I don't necessarily believe that. Scotland smells like shit. Thank you for your contribution, Angus. It's very lovely. Makes me really want to visit. England ain't much better. I'm sure. I don't know. I've never been there. I know that there's some sort of food you eat, which is like baked beans on a piece of bread. What's that about? That's gross. I don't know what that is. I don't know. I don't think that I would like beans on toast is amazing. I don't know. I don't think that sounds very good. Beans on toast, it's like ambrosia from the gods. Every time something that's been called ambrosia that I've been fed, I don't like it. I feel like it's used with lots of different things. Like someone called something ambrosia that was like whipped cream and fruit or something. That was weird. It's getting a bit nasty now. I everyone thinks it's amazing. I don't know. I think that you guys need to love yourselves more. I'm sorry. I'm just teasing. Sounds like a poor man's burrito. Don't let's don't let's start with the blue waffles. It's gonna get to YouTube. Who said anything about blue waffles? What are we, like 12? Don't do that. Don't love yourselves and don't Google those words. It is not pleasant. But yep, things. What's this? It's oh, here's another thing. 10% off for one of those weird wallets. I might just give these away then, the things, if we get another loot crate. I might just give them away as prizes. That's what I'll do. I'll give them away as prizes every time I get something in the loot crate that I don't care about using. How much was it a month?
I think it's like $20.
Oh wow. It used to be like
But
9.
but there is a group one for that, and you can get it for like half.
Yeah, that's cool. Things and stuff. We're talking about Loot Crate, which is the thing that I got all this stuff in. I might just give them away as prizes because that's really cool. It's $20 a month for the thing, but you can get a Groupon for half that. But they give me things, and I might just give them away as prizes, like this sticker sit Tetris. You can put things like, if in case you want to put Loot Crate on your actual laptop, because that's what people do. And things. Yeah, I might just give this away. All this stuff away as prizes, the things that I'm not going to use. Right, let me just go back. Haggis is great though. Sheep's intestines, stomach, and kidneys. The thing about that is that the way I am is if I eat something, even if I'm not sure what it is and I like it, I'm gonna be as freaked out like if someone's like, you just ate a thing, and if I like it, I'm not gonna be like, oh, unless of course it's like, human flesh. There might be some things like that I'd be grossed out by later. Like, wow, you just ate the feces of a rat, and I'd be like, wow, that's not something I ever want to do again. You, his mother has such horrible luck in like some really weird, like obscure parts of Mexico that I guess people don't really like care about or regulate. Is she has this really horrible luck where she will eat something, whether it's a burrito or anything, just some tamales, anything, and she'll be like, "Oh my God, this is so delicious. What is this?" And they're like, "It's stray cats." Like that happened to her. Or, "Oh, it's a rat." But don't worry, it's not sewer rats. They're rats that we specifically breed in a clean environment in the kitchen and feed them only vegetables. They're special rats. Yeah. Apparently, the really tiny little like one stoplight town that had the stray cats had a stray cats problem, and she's like, "Oh my God, is this lamb? Is this pork?" And they're like, "Stray cats, ma'am. Enjoy." That's horrifying. Why is he had so many stories where his mom is always saying things like, "Oh my God, this is the most delicious thing I've ever had. What is it?" And they're like, "It's something terrifying." And I'm sure she feels horrible every time where she's like, "This is the best meat I've ever had. What is it?" And they're like, "It's a human baby." Like that didn't actually happen, but it's like she just has to deal with the fact that every time she's found something horrifying, the best meat she's ever had. Like, she needs to stop doing that. She needs to ask beforehand every time. How does she keep going like, "This is delicious. What is it?" With, like, complete confidence that it's gonna be fine. And then they're just like, "Yeah, that was centipede babies." Like, so are they. They are getting creative. Like, there apparently was a serial killer or something that was mad at his neighbor and he chopped him up and made him into tamales. Like, and everyone was like, "Wow." And then they made money, and they're like, "Oh my God, this, they're like, this is amazing. This is the best meat I've ever had. What is it?" And he's like, "Oh, something from the neighborhood." Like, I'm just blown through our Q&A time telling horrifying stories. Let me read some actual questions now. Like, now I'm gonna look it up. That's what I do, and people tell me not to. Okay, Nick, you probably don't want to do that. Someone's like, "Do you eat something special for the Christmas days?" I don't think we ate anything particularly special. We had pizza.
But no, not just any kind of pizza.
It's Round Table Maui Zowie pizza, which is amazing, and it's every time we go to Round Table, that's what we get. We just have graduated from Domino's. It's not good enough anymore. Do many places offer human flesh? Get Snowpad ready. I couldn't tell you. Why don't you go on a road trip to really tiny, obscure towns that have like one general store that sells maybe cigars?
Let's organize a tour
Let's
bus.
not. Let's not do that. Let's not do that at all. Someone says, is Chris the one who cooks? Yeah, he cooks pretty much everything. You know what I cook sometimes? Nothing.
Cereal.
Cereal. That's not
Noodles.
cooking. I used to eat a lot of frozen food, but then now, even if I want to eat like pot stickers from the freezer, but oh, you cook them obviously. And I'm like, hey, can you make me the thing, please? And he's like, yeah. That's not how he sounds. Asia, China, Japan, don't know where you can buy drinks with human cells. Probably, I don't know. Someone said my dad, who's quite squeamish, happily scoffed down a whole plate of goodies, only to be told there were sheep testicles. Okay, that's one of the things that it'd probably be gross if you really enjoyed them. I don't know. I'd be kind of like, I maybe I'd be a little weirded out by that. But for example, one time my friend was like, "You should eat this. You're gonna actually enjoy it." And I was like, "What is it?" And she's like, "I know if I tell you, you're not gonna want to." And then she fed it to me, and it was amazing. And she's like, "That was eel." And I'm like, "All right, that was chill." I don't think I would give them a return visit in this. Is this cat-free waiter? I don't. Yeah. Is this cat-free waiter? Like, this is Softly Galoshes Cannibalism Tour 2015. Oh my God. How would you rate your 2014 overall? Year to remember, year to forget. I don't think that you should ever forget your years. Like even if it was awful, like it. I don't know. I guess the way that at least the way that I make keep myself optimistic when things happen to me is that I feel like when something goes wrong and it disturbs your flow of life, and then you don't that your situation is uncomfortable, but you haven't you it's not been bad enough to actually make a change even though it's not affecting you well, and then it hits you with another thing and another thing until you really have to make that change. That's what I've always noticed. If I'm in a situation that I'm unhappy with, but not unhappy with to the point where I feel the need to actually change the situation, after a while it just like will hit me with a bunch of punches all at once, and then I finally make that change. So that's kind of the way I see it, is that when bad things happened to me, it honestly led to something that was a lot better. Like one of the things that happened to me is I got kicked out from this one house I was staying in with this family, and it was really traumatizing and a huge rejection, and it was really painful. But at the same time, I never would have ended up living on my own if that never happened, and I also was a lot happier away from that house because I didn't really think about it. But it was very triggering to be there, and it was not a very stable situation, and so it was a good thing in the end. Like it was very painful, but it was a push that I needed so that I could go in a better direction, if that makes sense. Um, and how very bad experiences though. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna tell somebody who, for example, like lost a child, being like, "Yep, it's gonna push you in a good direction." But um, I guess at the very least, that's how I interpret the events of my life, so that I can make something good out of it. And so that when things start going wrong, I think, okay, this is what life is telling me. This is what I need to do next. Um, but yeah, things and words. So over 2014 overall, I would say that I've grown a lot than where I was a year ago. Was a very different kind of wiser version of myself. As my 10th grade Becca said once, I'm maturing years. So that's a line to remember. Yeah, we have 2 minutes left of the Q&A. And then it's time to have the thing where I ask you a question and then you hurry over to my channel to figure out the answer so that you can win a sticker. Isn't that fantastic? And yeah, they're actually going to get shipped out this month. So there was some things where we had to figure out the postage, we had to figure out things. One person didn't give me their address until the other day. Um, right, tablet, get out here so I can bring the things. It's dead. I will use my phone instead, unless you have your thing. Yeah, the sticker designs so that people can see them. In about 1 minute. And then I will show you the stickers to see if you care about them, the sticker designs, and then we will, if you win, then we will ask you which one you want. You'll give us the address that you want it to be shipped to. We're not going to share that information with anybody. We'll show you the 3 designs, and you can pick which one you want. If we don't have that one yet, then we will, to the right, yeah, then we will show that to you. So, this is the first one. This is left side, right side with some grungy look to it. The next one says ear to ear. And it looks like that. And the next one is softly galoshes with the brain. Yeah. Very bad experiences. Becca first for me, speak very slowly at the Q&A. I'm not good with spoken English. Okay. Thank you for reminding me. Right, so it's 12:30. I will be very slow and articulate with the question. Okay. What are the dates of my first medical roleplay and the latest one that I made? What are the dates that those were made available for each of those videos? Yep. Medical roleplays in particular meaning, ear exams, any kind of, medical examination video. So yeah, first one who can answer that, unless you've already won before, because that's cheating, will get one of those stickers in the mail. Yeah, George, you always find them first, but you won the first time, so that's it. That was your moment. If you're looking right now, I'll repeat the question. What are the dates that my first medical roleplay was released and the latest medical roleplay that was released? What are the dates that those are made available? It's the one thing you're good at. Dates, as in, the month and the day of that month. So, for example, this date I'm going to say is not one of those answers, but for example, September 16th, 2050. That would be a date. There you go. Yeah, okay. I was just clarifying. Abstaining from answering to save you on international postage. Oh, it's fine, because both people who have won have been from the UK, I think, so yeah, it'll be fine. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's not going to be actually that much postage, because it's pretty much just a letter with a sticker in it. So, not a very expensive postage and things. So go ahead, you can do that. But yeah. Not at all to cover for your crappy laptop trying to open a second tab. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I should do this. I should give these away. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna give things like this away for the next monthly live shows. I have lots of prizes. Isn't that fantastic? Ooh, the one thing with the thing. Remember the thing that I had with the idea with the scavenger hunt with the annotations? Yes. June 17th and June 23rd. One of those dates. So, I guess one of those dates was correct, but then the other one is not correct. And then another person got one of them right and the other one was wrong. So first person to answer which of those two were right, because one person got one of them right and one of them wrong, and the other person got one of them right and the other one wrong. So be the first person to figure out which one of those it is, and you'll win. Nope, it was not those ones. Yep, that was it. I'm sorry, Angus. I'm so sorry. It was the other ones. It was June 10th and June 23rd. It was my ear exam roleplay and my cranial nerve exam roleplay. And thanks. Oh, you guys. I'm so sorry, Angus. There was two that were right, but then he chose the other one. I'm so sorry. I hope you're not actually crying, because you're an amazing person, and you should feel good about yourself because you're fantastic. So I hope you're not actually sad. And things. Okay, good. It's gonna be like, oh no, we need to take a break. Somebody call an ambulance. We need to help right now. Okay. Alright, so person who won, your name is Nick. Hi. We've talked before plenty of times. Just send me a message on Tumblr or a DM on Twitter with your address and which one you want. I'll send you a link of the images again so you can look at them more closely. So you can choose which one you want. So yeah. Pharmacist Shadow not count. I'm pretty sure I had one before that though, because before that I had an exam roleplay. So yeah. Yep. Okay. Things and stuff. Right, so from this point on, we're gonna have a little chat. Internet is slow, I couldn't check it. I'm so sorry. I hear the internet's actually really terrible in some countries that you'd think it wouldn't be. Like I hear Australia has like terrible internet. Yeah, he says Mexico too. I hear that the American internet is actually relatively slow when you look at like the top people who have the fastest internet. I think Japan has the fastest internet, and then here it's actually surprisingly slow. I hear for the rates that we get. I don't know. I might be wrong. I'm just yeah things right. So oh some things is I had this idea a few months ago that I was thinking about, and now that I have all these things that I can give away like this stuff, um I okay, it's the idea hasn't been completely like planned out yet, but the idea is basically um um word sorry, I lost my train of thought. Is that I would have some sort of like scavenger hunt where there would be a riddle and you would have to by the answer to the riddle would be like a certain um like a video, one of my videos, and it could be something like a riddle, and then let's say that it's that thing, like there's a knife block there, and then there'd be an annotation around that thing, and clicking to that would lead to you know the next riddle and things, and it'd be kind of like a very simple scavenger hunt. And in the end, if you got the answer first, then you would get a prize. Like one of these things. Now that I actually have prizes to give away. So, isn't that fantastic? Someone's like, I jokingly set it as a goal and reached it quicker than I expected. That's wonderful, Nick. Follow your dreams, spread your wings and fly. It's my PC's fault also. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. One of these days I'll have a contest where the last person to answer wins, and then everyone will just make us wait for 6 hours. Someone's like, I give up. I'm like, oh, well, I guess no one else answered. Someone will just stay on the call even when I leave for like 12 hours, and no one will answer. And someone will answer by the time everyone's ever given up. Then you will win. They're like, dang it, Nick was right. Ear to ear was first. I was gonna be like, oh my gosh, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong about my own videos? How many questions do you ask? Um, do you mean like in the scavenger hunt idea that I'm talking about? The Q&A. Um, what are you talking about? Are you talking about for the stickers? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, before I had two questions because there was like a video coming out that was exciting that wasn't going to be out for like a week, and then there was a sticker, but last time I think that there was just a sticker. Next month stickers are mine. You heard it here first, folks. Yeah. Indeed. Well, you might. But yeah, so we can just chat and things. You can look at the other things that I got that maybe I'll give away, like this wallet, the Simpsons wallet that's like made from like kind of like a thick newspaper feeling. What's this? Oh, but don't you want to keep this one? Oh, this is the other thing that came in it, but I'm pretty sure it's a Joker Batman like combination thing. Yeah, but I think that you want that one, don't you? You do. There you go. And how? Okay, so we can talk about things if things is what you want to talk about. I've been watching a lot of Parks and Rec. I've already seen up to middle of season 5, I think, and then I kind of lost it. But we've been watching it with them, and it's a really good show to binge. So we're like already on season 3. Maybe thongs. No. Do you mean like slippers or do you mean like underwear? Either way, I don't think that's a very interesting conversation. And stuff. Also, things that I got as part of the thing is Groot socks. Oh no. See that? And it says, I am Groot. Which is a direct quote at some point. Make them dance. Make this dance? Okay. There you go. This is entertainment. This is what you chose to spend your life on. Sing something, come on. No, I am not going to sing because I'm not good at singing. And that's not a thing that I'm going to do. I'm sorry. What's your opinion on conflict sports like boxing and cage fighting? I I don't know. I don't think I really have an opinion. I think that is it's fine if that's what you're gonna do. Stay safe and take care of yourself, and hopefully that aggression is not being taken out on people who are not agreeing to such things. You know, like outside of the competitions and stuff. I don't know. I think I don't know. Okay, so um, there's actually an interesting conversation about that. There was a back in like I think it was the 60s maybe. There was the idea that watching, and this is not playing. This is playing. I think is probably a fine way to release aggression. Although some people would argue that acting aggressively actually increases your aggression. There's kind of different studies on that. But interesting thing in the 60s, there was a very common idea that if you witnessed aggression like boxing or something or violence on TV, that it somehow purged your anger and need to be aggressive. Um, and so that was considered at the time that it wasn't harmful to watch those things even for children because it didn't encourage it. It released that from you. And so they did a test where they had children watching through a window, I think, of an adult with like a Bobo toy, you know, like the clowns where you can punch and they kind of like flop back. They're like inflatable things, and they had the adult kind of beat it up in like very specific ways, not like the normal ways, like throwing it, you know, kicking it up into the air, hitting it with a hammer, you know, specific things that aren't the normal way people play with it, and so it's not, you know, so it's more easy to tell if they're actually responding to that. And then they had the adult leave the room, and then they had the kids come in with everything set up the same, and all of them pretty much immediately started to do it. And it's actually kind of disturbing watching a girl beat an inflatable doll to beating the shit out of it with a hammer is kind of really disturbing, and watching like a little boy climb on top of it to like punch it in the face, like it was really disturbing. So that's kind of it was actually really shocking at the time that it can actually and the control group was that you know they would just play with things normally, they weren't aggressive, they were calm. So that was kind of an interesting study. So it's kind of like it depends, you know what I mean? Someone says definitely it's fine as long as both parties consent and understand the risks, brain damage, broken bones, and so on. Yeah, you know, I think it's just like with any sport. If you're aware of the risks, try to take care of yourself. That's kind of your own choice, if you know what I mean. Um, Funny thing about boxing, introduction of gloves made it less safe because they would then hit each other harder. Interesting. So, yeah, that's I don't know much about it, but I know things about studies and psychology. Sounds cool. Reload again. A lot of problems today with chat. I am sorry, Andreas. And things. Right. We have about, let me do math for a second, 18 minutes left. Maybe, and they'd aim for the head, whereas in the bare knuckle days, they'd break their own hands. That's true. I remember, I don't know if this is true or if it was just part of a novel that I read that was talking about it as if it's history, but something about how there was like a ban on like kind of like amateur boxing rings where they couldn't hit below the gut or above it, and so they would just kind of like punch each other in the gut to get around those rules. But I don't know if that's an actual thing or if it was just from the thing. They're like, change the browser, now it's better. Hello, I think you're still Andreas, but now you're ASMR type. Here you go, magic. Right. Oh, look what I have. Big bag of Lee Hing Moi. Isn't it wonderful? Let me just. Can you just tell me if you can actually hear binaural on this live show, or if it's going to be automatically mono sound just by the camera? Like. Well, you can still hear mono sound, which is interesting. Yeah, it's a bag of candies basically that I used to eat in Hawaii. Looks like this. And things. I have a whole bunch right now because I happened to buy these and then Angus sent me a whole bunch of them, so I have lots to choose from. This just happens to be the one next to me right now. I did. They make a really interesting sound when I eat them really close up to the mic because it's a weird kind of like dry like sound. I don't know. It's a really interesting sound. Yep. Things and stuff. That Angus seemed pretty rad. Who is he? It's you, Angus. It's you. I did do a video with these. Yep. So, you can ask more questions if you want, or I can just keep rambling about things. I mean, that's pretty much what I do anyway. Oh, the other, yeah, I think I showed you everything that I got already. Stuff. We already ate all the candy. There actually wasn't that much candy. There was only like 4 bags of Sour Patch Kids and like a handful of chocolates. We ate that all in like an hour. My tongue was wrecked because I was eating like salty chips, like sour candies, and like really, really getting the sour sugar off onto my tongue. Delicious. And then I was eating these, so my tongue like cracked and it hurts sometimes. Yeah. Were you nervous about comments and reactions when you start uploading to YouTube? Do you mean for the live shows or just in general? I kind of want to eat this, but that's going to make it harder to respond. Put that away. In general. Well, I started uploading videos in like 2008, but they were not ASMR videos. They were like little skits and vlogs and things, and that was on my Lulu channel. Although most of those are privated now because either I find them embarrassing or they have opinions that I don't agree with anymore. Although actually recently I made a whole bunch of those public, so those have been available for a few weeks now, like a lot more of them. So I mean, in the beginning, like there weren't a lot of comments. Obviously, I think with I never had that many comments on those videos. When I started making ASMR videos, I think I started slow and then comments started building, but I was already kind of used to social media. Like it wasn't really nerve-wracking for me because, yeah, when you can upload those videos on Lulu, I mean they're already there. Like, yeah, they're already there. Like they've always been on there. They've just been unlisted and then privated for a while, but there's a lot of them that are actually public now that I don't think people have noticed too much. There's one in particular that people comment on, which is a video for my 17th birthday, where let's just give a clue into where I was when I was 17. I loved Hannah Montana and the Jonas Brothers, and I was really into Twilight. So that happened. I don't think I was actually on Team Edward or Team Jacob. I was like, Alice is cool. I like her best. That's what I said. um, Angus asks, we know what ASMR has done to help the viewers, but has it helped you in any way? Well, yes. When I first started making ASMR videos, I was in a really, really messed up spot in my life. Like I was really depressed, and the person that I was with had gotten stationed in England military. When what happened was when I moved there to be with that family, and I was dating their son. He was not supposed to leave for a year, and then he ended up having to leave in a month, and then he was stationed elsewhere, and you can't really talk to them. The thing about the military is that you don't get to talk to them, and when they do call you, they're actually specifically monitored, so they can't say that they love you or that they miss you. They just have to give you some information and then hang up the phone. So that's unfortunate. So that was really depressing, and so that was ASMR was a really good way to keep me doing things. Like it was a project I could work on. And then later, around the time when my videos became monetized for the first time, I was actually like severely broke. And what happened was I moved in with Amy, who I've mentioned ages ago, but we don't talk anymore. We're not roommates anymore. And oh, because I was getting on my feet and it was fine. And then everything was set up for me to have income to pay for when we moved into a 2-bedroom apartment. And it was all set up right. And I would not have made that decision if I was not absolutely sure and, reassured by so many different people that that was going to work out. And then as soon as it happened, it completely fell apart. And so it's very upsetting because she had to make up for my thing when she was just living in a studio by herself before, and that was really upsetting. And she eventually had to spend, her food money to make up for my part, and it was really upsetting. So eventually when they first started getting monetized, like I was very, very depressed because I was broke and I was ruining this person's life because I couldn't afford what I thought I was going to be able to afford. And that pretty much saved me, and I could suddenly afford bills and I could afford to exist. So that's how that worked out. And if I didn't have this, then I pretty much have like medical notes that I cannot handle the stress of, like, for example, a retail job or like an office job kind of thing. Like I actually have like medical notes saying that that's not something that I can do without completely wrecking my mental health. So this is actually really perfect for me because this is something that I can handle stress-wise, and it's very fun. I'm talking about those videos about Halloween and camping and your friend visiting you. Oh, right. I haven't edited those yet. I'm so sorry. I'm really, really a huge procrastinator on those things for some reason. But they'll get up eventually. I'm sorry. Do you think there's ever a chance ASMR become too mainstream and lose its sort of tight community feel? Um, I'm not sure. I feel like there's kind of different crowds, and I feel like there's definitely people who are kind of like the 1% of the ASMR community, who are all like in their little group of friendship, and they're like the really, really popular ones, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that that's actually why ASMR Ready is a project that we're working on, and we're still working on that. It's still a thing. We're he has some things to deal with some clients and some other web design work to do, and then after that's passed, we can continue work on the website to finish up the last few things. The website pretty much works, like all of it works. There's just a few things we need to adjust visually and um, maybe try something new with a bit of the code. So that's pretty much it. Like the site works. It's up and everything. There's just a few things because we don't want to release it without it looking perfect. Um, but that's actually what we want to do is to be able to have a group for discussions and people talking about their opinions in the articles and you know finding good ASMR videos and having interviews with the ASMR artists and everything, which is why it started, and to really promote people who are lesser known. And that's kind of what that's for. That's kind of what I want to bring the community together with. Because I feel like there's not. That's the thing with YouTube is that it's not really well, there's a community, but it's kind of like not a joined community because there's not like a forum or anywhere. It's like everyone has their separate videos and their separate things, and it's not really drawn together. So it's all very separate. Like the map is all black still. Um, and that's why I feel like because there's not really a single focal point for ASMRs to come together and talk to each other and become friends and everything. It's kind of like a weird process where maybe you watch some people's videos and then maybe you talk to them on Twitter and then maybe you kind of know each other, but it's a very all over the place thing. So, yeah. And so many people use it for the wrong purpose. What do you mean? Like people who are like they don't like they're in it for like sexual things or that they I'm not sure what you mean by that. Could you elaborate? Someone's like that's inevitable and they're like at least you're doing much better now. You're like, I got similar notes. I like working from home. Yeah, I like working from home too. I must have missed something because Angus is saying something about something Nick said, but I don't see what you're responding to. Um, oh, what? Oh, okay, sorry. You said Nick and I thought you were talking to him. Okay, but yeah, that's, those are some things. We have like 8 minutes left of the thing. So Nick, make sure that you DM me the address you want it sent to, and I'll send you the images so you can choose which one you want. And if it's one of the two we haven't ordered yet, we'll order those, and then we'll order them and send it to George, and we'll send it to the other person. I don't remember what their name is right now. I'm sorry. I don't know if they're. I don't think they're here though. Being vague. Yeah, an hour is just not long enough. But there's always like a slight after party at the end when I stop broadcasting and then we kind of chat for a little bit until I go. Oh, I forgot that I have this. This is the fake alcohol I'm talking about for people watching the recording. It's just sparkling cider. And look, it says contains no alcohol. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, fancy. Do you ever know that thing where like you have a little cup of juice or something, but you drink it like how people drink at bars where they're just like, and you slam it down, you're like, ah. I don't know. I don't drink, and I've never been drunk or anything like that. I've had a few sips here and there, but yeah. What's its flavor? It's apple flavor. It's sparkling apple cider. Although we have another one that's apple cranberry, and that's our fake wine. This is our fake champagne. Because neither of us drink. And sometimes when we're like, oh, alcohol sounds good, but really it's like we really just want blue colored lemonade or something. We want fake alcohol. We don't, because it's gross. I don't know. We don't like alcohol. I don't really care for the effects. It's not a very good mix if you have mental illness, which I do. It's just not a good idea at all, ever. So, things. They're like, I don't drink too, just some sip every now and then. Do you know glue vine? I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. I don't. I don't know what that is. I failed you. Spiced red wine. No, I don't drink, so I don't really know anything about alcohol except what I see on TV and movies. Just probably, I don't know. So any New Year's plans yet? I think I answered this before, but I think it was actually not technically on the recording, which is that we're probably just gonna have fake a haul and probably watch TV and maybe have something fancy like a pizza. Pizza. I love pizza. Who doesn't love pizza? I'm sure there are plenty of people who don't love pizza, like people who can't eat gluten or are like lactose intolerant probably don't eat pizza. I love pizza. Scotland has a really bad drinking culture. People start drinking at 14, 15. That's kind of what I hear, that in countries where the drinking age is lower, like here it's 21, in places that it's 18, that because it's lower, people start drinking at lower ages. That's really terrible too. Like alcohol is really bad for you. Like literally your body, like, this is actually things that I learned in my drug and addiction class I took this past semester, is literally your body interprets alcohol as poison, and so it immediately has to do like 3 different stages of metabolizing it so that you don't die. And there's some people that their body doesn't do that very well, which is why as soon as they even have like a sip of alcohol, they'll vomit because it's poisonous. Yeah, it's poison. So it's also like, for example, if you've blacked out because you're drinking, that's brain damage. That's literally damage to your brain, because if your brain is not functioning enough to remember what you're doing and be aware of what you're doing, then that's brain damage. There's also a thing called a brownout, which basically means that it's kind of like a blackout, but you have a few memories, like let's say you're walking back to your car, or whoever's going to drive you probably shouldn't drive if you're browning or blacking out. But it means that, you'll be on 23rd Street, and then all of a sudden you're on 12th Street, and you don't really remember how you got there, but at least you're kind of aware, but it's still bad for you. Yeah, if it was discovered now, do you think it'd be prohibited like hard drugs? Okay, fun fact about that, we have 4 minutes left of the show, but I might just ramble afterwards, is there have been kind of a few different ways that people have tried to lower the effects of drugs, and alcohol is considered a drug. There tends to be a few ways. The first one has always been temperance slash prohibition kind of thing. So temperance is more like promoting abstinence, or at the very least in moderation. And the thing is, it didn't usually end up working out because people are so dependent on them that they use it anyway, as you know, in the prohibition. It's people ended up using it anyway. Although, to be fair, people act like the prohibition didn't work because it ended up getting revoked. But what happened was actually that, people who had violence from drinking and disorderly conduct and things like that, and also, driving drunk, all those things really, really did drop a significant amount. But eventually, it wasn't working. So they eventually moved it, because that's the thing, is that at this point people are so attached to their drugs that it's not really going to work to completely take it away. So what they do is there's like 3 different things that they focus on: reduce supply, reduce demand, and reduce the harm. So the way that they reduce demand is like 3. There's like primary, secondary, and tertiary. The first one being focusing on people before they start drinking, trying to prevent them from drinking or using drugs. This is also just drugs in general, like every kind of drug. Legal drugs is what I'm talking about, and also just damaging psychoactive drugs is what I'm talking about, including alcohol. And that's aimed at people before they start drinking, actually, particularly in the ages between 8 and 10. There are actually people who start drinking around age 8, and actually they're way more likely to end up being an alcoholic if you start that young. And then the secondary prevention is that people have started but trying to prevent it from being a habit. So people who may have had it now and then but not getting them addicted. And then the third one is to give information and resources to people after they've started, to try and bring them back. Things like that. Things like rehab and education centers and everything. So reduce supply is obviously things like going after trying to reduce the supply, although it's very difficult to do so, to actually stop it, because it just crops up everywhere else every time you stamp it in one place. But the reduced harm is actually kind of interesting, because it's accepting that you already are addicted, you're already going to have a problem, maybe you're not going to quit, but let's do something to reduce how it's going to affect you. So for example, there's these things called needle exchanges, where people can come in and exchange their dirty needles for clean ones. And some people say like, oh, well, that's just encouraging to do it. But at that point, considering it a public health issue, is that they're trying to reduce the harm. If they're already going to be using, it's better to lower the rates of, hepatitis being spread and HIV and AIDS being spread. And so that's a very kind of controversial thing, but that's the thing they do to try to reduce harm, which is the third stage. Right, let me go back and read things people have been saying. Love it too, it's Italian. Interesting. UK in general is what people are talking about. When I was talking about drinking ages being lower, I think. Lived there for half a year. The girls are extreme. I don't know what that means. Yeah, alcohol doesn't taste nice. Always cried in front of a club because they were used by the guys. I've drunk a lot today, so it explains my writing. Alright. That's kind of horrifying. Someone's asking me if I like gerbils. Just ask something else. I have never interacted with a gerbil. I mean, I actually used to have pet mice. So I kind of like little, caged tank animals that are rodent related kind of thing, and they're cool, I guess. I've never had gerbils in particular. I don't know if they're mean. Half the time I was hit by family members, they were intoxicated or not far from it. You should end the show. Right, it's 1 o'clock. I should end the show. Cool. So someone says I should end it with get softly galoshed. Right. So, it's 101. You got an extra minute. Cool. Right. So if you want to view the show live instead of this recording, then you can pledge $5 or more per video on my Patreon. And just make sure that's set up before the live show starts. You'll get there'll be a post maybe a week or two before it's gonna happen to kind of agree on a time. Usually it happens to be either the second to last or last Sunday of the month, around the same time, 12 p.m. my time, which is PDT. It's like Pacific time basically. But yeah, so if that's something you want to do, you can do that. And there'll always be a little prize to happen, and I'll probably give away more things or give those away from various exciting things on my channel. So yeah, I should actually look into the webcam while I say these words. Bye!